What's up, guys? Temperistic here. So, I was going to be logging into Hearthstone yesterday, and before I started playing, I noticed that, there's always this screen. It's a game screen on Battle.net, basically, and Battle.net has, it's hooked up to Blizzard Entertainment, who makes all the games like World of Warcraft, Diablo 3, StarCraft 2, Hearthstone, and the new game that's coming out. It's going to be coming out of beta. I think it's in alpha right now. It's Heroes of the Storm. It's basically like League of Legends, except that it's gonna be using like characters from Diablo 3, pretty much every game except Hearthstone. There's characters from StarCraft 2, Diablo 3, and World of Warcraft used for the characters in Heroes of the Storm, and it's obviously based off of League of Legends. If you even watch it for like 1 second, you'll notice that it's definitely based off of League of Legends. And then they have the other game coming out soon, which is called Overwatch, which is going to be like a third-person shooter, which should be pretty sick. But anyways, right before I press play, there's always this news section in this box. It talks about the World Championship of Hearthstone, and any upcoming news that they have if they're looking for anyone to work for them or whatever. But basically, a new thing popped up, and it is the next DLC installment of Hearthstone, which is Blackrock Mountain, a Hearthstone adventure. And this game came out, I believe, in January of 2014. So it's been a little over a year since this game has been out, and we've had all the cards released from the initial when the game first released. It released with quite a few cards. And then everyone used them and got bored of them, and then we need some sort of DLC or some new installment, and then they put in Naxxramas, which is another Hearthstone adventure, and that was kind of spooky. It was from the Naxxramas based off of World of Warcraft, with Kel'Thuzad being the final boss and everything, and everyone had fun with that, and you got new cards, about 30 cards you got from that, and then they had the other DLC that just came out not too long ago, which was GVG, or Goblins versus or Gnomes. It's Goblins versus Gnomes, I think, instead of Gnomes versus Goblins. So Goblins versus Gnomes came out, and that put in, I think, at least 100 cards. It put into the game, and that's just basically a DLC, just to put in cards to the game. And then they're gonna switch back to Hearthstone Adventure, which is the Blackrock Mountain that I just talked about, and it is not sure what it's based off of. I guess it's some sort of it's based off World of Warcraft, of course, because the whole entire game is based off of World of Warcraft. But I have not seen any clips of anyone doing the Blackrock Mountain. I don't know if it's like a Blackrock Mountain quest or whatever. I'm not a huge WoW player, but I know a lot of WoW fans would probably know what I'm talking about and really know what to expect when all the cards come out from Blackrock Mountain. It's going to be 31 cards, which is one card more than you got from Naxxramas. Pretty much the theme of the Blackrock Mountain cards is going to be dragons and let's see, dragons and dwarves, and pretty much lava, magma, that kind of stuff. And it kind of makes sense because we're getting the Raging Ragnaros card back at the end of this season. If you get rank 20 or higher before this month ends, you'll get the Raging Ragnaros card back. So basically, let me talk about it. So if I open this up right here, I'll be able to tell you that there's a cinematic trailer, of course. There's one for GVG and there's one for Blackrock Mountain. I'll put that in the description below for you guys to check out. But first thing that we will see is that we're going to be getting, to play against bosses again, just like in Naxxramas. It's going to be the same thing. You're going to get 5 wings. And they already released 5 cards. We've got the Ren Blackhand, which is a 7-mana 8/4, and its battle cry is, if you're holding a dragon, you destroy a legendary minion. And what I talked about earlier is that it's going to be based off of dragons. So pretty much all the abilities of the cards are going to be based off of you holding dragons. So if you make a deck based on dragons, and there's already quite a few dragons. We've got Ysera, Alexstrasza, Azure Drake, Twilight Drake, etc. We've got a bunch of those in the game already, so you could definitely make a dragon deck, base the deck off of holding dragons to activate these abilities. So Red Blackhand is pretty good. It's by itself 7 mana for 8/4. No, that's freaking ridiculously horrible. But if your opponent is going to, it's basically it's a very situational card. If your opponent doesn't have, most like 9 out of 10 minions that your opponent will have in their deck are regular, but 9 out of 10 decks that people play are going to be having legendary minions. I mean, I don't really think, other than Zoo, Zoo and Face Hunter are the only ones I think that don't have any legendary minions. Mech Mage only has Antonidas, but you can still use Red and Black Hand. Just hold him until you get the chance to completely annihilate Antonidas, and then you'll pretty much win against Mech Mage, basically, because if you hold him until a late game, then you're pretty much going to be good. But it's a pretty good card, if it works out in your favor, if the situation presents itself. If you get Ren Black Hand in your opening hand, it's not really going to be that good. Kind of one of those cards that you want to draw, at the right moment. And then the other 4 cards, we've got Dark Iron Skulker, which is the first dwarf that was released, and it is a 5 mana 4/3. And its battle cry is, when you play it onto the field, it deals 2 damage to all undamaged enemy minions, and it's of course a rogue card. So it's basically like having a bunch of backstabs in and 1 minion activated at the same time. So if you compare this to, I'm trying to remember the other card is, it's like a 4/2, and when it's played, it's like a rifleman. When it's played, you do 2 damage to an enemy minion, and it's basically the same mana cost, and it's a 4/2. So this is obviously better, but it's only in rogue, so you can only use it in a rogue deck, and I mean it's pretty good. It's pretty OP. So that's the first card, besides the legendary Red and Black Hand, and then we get another dwarf here, which is the Grim Patron. Whenever this minion survives damage, summon another Grim Patron, and it's an interesting combo that you could use with Matter Bomber or Mad Bomber or some minion or some spell that can only deal a certain amount of damage. It has to be less than 3 because this only has a 3 defense, so it's a 5/3/3. That alone is not a good card, but if it survives the damage, then it's gonna be good because it's gonna keep summoning them. So if you have Matter Bomber, and your Matter Bomber hits the 3/3, once, then it's going to summon another 3/3, and then if that hits the 3/3, it's going to summon another, and it's just going to keep going. So, Matter Bomber, I believe, spits out 6 bombs when it's played, so you could basically fill your whole entire board with nothing but Grim Patrons, which is pretty crazy because it would be basically like having you playing Paladin and then you using your hero power to summon a guy, and then having 6 guys on the field and having your what's that card called? It's a 2/5 and it gives all your dudes +2/+2. I forget what it's called, but when it's played, he says 2 arms men. I know Silverhand Recruit. I think it's the Silverhand. It's not the Silverhand Knight. It's the Silverhand something. But the Silverhand Recruits are the ones that you spit out of your Paladin. But I just can't remember. I'm having some trouble with the names here. But basically, it's like that. It's like having that power activate and you having nothing but dudes, being 3/3s. So it's pretty overpowering. If you do get that combo working, so it's gonna be interesting to see if people actually make a deck nothing but like Matter Bombers and Mad Bombers and stuff like that to activate the Grim Patrons. Next card is going to be actually the first dragon, and the only dragon that they have announced is going to be the Hungry Dragon, and it's a 4 mana 5/6. That's pretty overpowering, but it does of course have a battle cry that works against you, which is summon a random 1-cost minion for your opponent. So let's say the Hungry Dragon gets played, it's a 5/6 for 4 mana, overpowered, and then it summons a Flame Imp. Flame Imp is actually probably the worst one that you could get, which is actually pretty good in your odds, because it could be a Wisp that it summons, a Young Dragonhawk, what else is a 1 mana Shield Bearer, but nothing too detrimental. So I still think Hungry Dragon, even with its ability to summon a 1-cost minion to your opponent's side of the field, it still is pretty overpowering, and you're gonna be able to combo it with Bear to for your deck to hold dragons and activate the abilities. And then we have one more card, which is the Blackwing Technician, and its battle cry is if you're holding a dragon, you gain +1/+1, so you can combo that with Hungry Dragon. It's the 3 mana 2/4, which by itself is okay. It's not the worst that could be, but when you're holding a dragon, if you're holding a dragon, gain +1/+1. So it'll be a 3/5 for 3 mana, which is pretty good. So yeah, you can put this in your dragon deck, obviously. But that's basically all the cards that they announced. They haven't announced any more, and this got announced at PAX, by the way. That's when they announced it. And then we get a new game board to mess around with. We don't have too many game boards. When we're waiting for our opponent to do stuff, we kind of get to mess around with the board. Help time pass by. And in the left-hand corner, we've got Ragnaros's hammer. And in the right-hand corner, we've got some lava coming out of some statue's mouth. Bottom right-hand corner, I'm not sure what that is. Actually. The bottom left-hand corner is like a anvil with a shield on it. I'm guessing the bottom right-hand corner is some sort of tower. So that's pretty cool that we get a new game board, a new card back for Ragnaros, and there's also 2 other card backs that we can get, and I'll tell you right now how you do that. There's obviously going to be new class challenges, so there's 9 classes, so we're going to get 9 new class challenges, and with each challenge that you complete, you get a new card for that. So I do believe that it's probably going to be, for the rogue class, you're going to get the Patron to put in your deck for doing that class challenge. It'll probably put some bombs, some matter bombers, and some mad bombers in the deck, along with a bunch of Patrons for you to mess around with and win with, so you can actually get the Patron and use it in Constructed. Also, beating it on Heroic will get you another card back. I'm not sure. I saw it once. It's actually not red or orange. It's kind of whitish. It's going to be the same thing you're going to have to do to get that Naxxramas card back for being Heroic. So after you beat all the bosses on normal mode, you're going to have to do it again on Heroic, and there's going to be 5 bosses, 5 wings, and with each wing I think you unlock like 2 to 4 cards per wing. I think 4 cards per wing. I do believe so. Because 4 times 5 is 20, so that's 20 cards, and then you'll probably get a card because that bear, that Ren Blackhand is actually one of the bosses that you play against, I do believe, and then if you beat the boss, then you'll get the actual boss as a card. So that's another way to get cards, and then you're going to get the 9 cards for the class challenges, and then probably something else to get the remaining cards. But there's also another card back, and to get that, you actually have to pre-order this whole entire thing, the Blackrock Mountain, and you're actually going to have to pay for it if you want to get the card back. But basically, all 5 wings you can get for $24.99. If you already own the first wing, then it's going to be $19.99. If you already own the first 2 wings, then it's going to be $14.99. If you already own the first 3 wings, it's going to be $9.99. And then you can also pay for each wing individually $6.99 or 700 gold. So if you save up enough gold, you can obviously just pay for the whole thing, without spending actual money. So you have to pre-order this to receive an exclusive card back, and it does say that gold purchases are not eligible, so you actually do have to use your PayPal account or debit or credit card to get that. And this actually is going to be coming out in April for the PC, Mac, iPad, and Android tablets, and I do believe March 19th you're going to be able to start pre-ordering this. And I don't think they have announced yet when it is. Yeah. Pre-orders of the full adventure will be available starting March 19th, so you're going to be able to do that. And it's going to be coming out in April sometime, maybe the second week or something. They haven't announced it yet. But really excited for this. Playing Hearthstone for a lot of time and, not having too many new things, it gets kind of boring pretty quickly. So, getting DLC like this pretty rapidly makes it more interesting. And with new cards, there's new situations that you're going to get into, new decks that you can make in Constructed and Arena. And also, about Arena, you don't have to have the cards in your library or your collection to use them in Arena. If you want to mess around with them before you actually try to play with them in Constructed, you can just go into Arena and then it's just gonna give you the cards to select from and play with, even if you haven't bought any of the wings. So you can play around with the cards without paying for any of the wings. So. And basically, it's going to work how it worked last time. Each week, they're going to release one wing, so it's going to take a total of 5 weeks to release all 5 wings. And that's about everything that you need to know. Yeah, so I'm excited about this. I'm a huge Hearthstone fan, if you didn't already know. But if you did enjoy this video and found it to be informative, please leave a like and comment down below. And make sure you subscribe for more videos coming soon, and I will see you guys tomorrow with another video.